I love that you said that you use faith as a tool to bring you back.
Right.
Because I always say that faith is something that you have to have in your back pocket. You have to carry it with you wherever you go. And don't forget it's in your pocket when you need it.
That's it.
So whenever you're feeling down and you feel like you can't go any longer, pull that faith out your pocket.
That's
Pull
it.
it out and keep going. What's up, everybody? Happy Friday. We're back to it. I had posted a video, slideshow of all of like the beginning Bliss talks, and I was making some weird faces. My hair was changing back and forth, and everybody kept commenting how crazy I sounded when I said we getting back to it like that. But what can I say? I'm dorky. But anywho, I wanted to congratulate everyone who made it through the work week. It's Friday, and hopefully y'all get to relax. I know I am. Tonight I have a special guest that's going to be coming on with me. He goes by Shaun, Witness Words. He's an artist. He's a songwriter. And I want to talk to him about his Soapbox, because he had a poem that really resonated with me on his page. I want to talk about some of the biggest platforms he's been invited to, because it looks like he performs very regularly. And Shaun, if you want to go ahead and request to join the live, we can get started. He's in here. What's up? Giselle Cassidy Carter. I appreciate you joining the Bliss Talk today. It's going to be a 30-minute inspiring conversation. I do this every weekday at 7 p.m. And I talk about everything life, everything motivating, everything to get you started on your path. Shaun, did you figure out how to request the live? There we go. He's coming. Hey.
Hello. Peace. How you doing?
Good. I heard you just got off of work.
Yeah, I've been out here being essential, man.
I know that's right.
Yeah.
I know that's right.
How's everything your way?
Everything is cool. I keep saying I'm happy it's Friday. It's been one of those long weeks, and I was ready to get to the weekend so I can relax a little bit, have that balance of relaxation after you've been working all week long.
Right.
I don't know if T. Walker told you about what Bliss Talk is, but I like to build, learn, inspire, collaborate, and share keys with some of the folks in our community that's been really grinding and going steady with their purpose. I'm going to ask you 5 questions. I like to have a little bit of fun with it. Sometimes it's not fun at all. Sometimes it's just really deep intellectual thought. We're going to have some things tonight.
Okay.
The first question that I wanted to ask you, what is your favorite key that you picked up from Nipsey Hussle?
Hustle and motivate.
Hustle and motivate.
Hustle and motivate. Just stand at whatever it is that you do. Nipsey inspired me because when he actually, I guess what the world would consider being on, it was when he was older. He was like in his mid-30s.
Mm.
So he was just talking about how the only difference between him and most people is he didn't quit. There's like there's nothing really special about what it is that he did other than just just stayed at what he was doing.
Right.
So I think that's the biggest thing for me. It's like I've been doing music. I started writing music when I was like 11. My first time going to a studio was when I was 16. So that was 20 years ago.
Right.
So it's like, as of late, I would say probably within the last 3 years, I started to get, gain a little bit of traction just outside of the immediate people who've known what I've done for the whole amount of time. So,
Right.
so you just got to stick with it and keep going.
I like it. Hustle and motivate. And the only difference between him and some of his peers is that he kept going.
That's it.
That's very true. My next question for you is what's in the soapbox? I saw that you had a poem and you were like, what's in the soapbox? I wanted to talk to you about that too, because I think that when we are sharing thoughts or knowledge with our peers or our children or whoever we want to inspire and motivate, sometimes it can come off judgy or very righteous.
Right.
Do you agree with that?
Absolutely.
So that's why I wanted to ask you what's in the soapbox and how do we talk to each other where it's a building relationship rather than a mental relationship.
Okay, so I have a song that I wrote called Big, right? So with that song, I'm speaking from the perspective of, I would say, like the generation that's coming up now, and just addressing a few things like how I see a lot of people my age and older talk down on the generation now about, it could be anything from how to dress to, when we were growing up, we were the hustlers, but now y'all using the drugs, as if though that makes it any different, right, or makes it any better. And if you actually think about it, that could be the reason why they have turned into the addicts. If you think about most people like my age now, or maybe a little older, who grew up in the time of like the late 80s and the 90s, when you were getting to a certain age, right, there were a lot of people who got involved in selling drugs. Well, a lot of these kids now are the product of that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, you have to make sure that you have some type of understanding of what it is that they're going through to effectively, address whatever it is.
Right.
So I think that's the most important part, because I've been 16 before, and I know what it was like when I could have somebody talking to me that was 36 and just talking to me from the perspective of like talking at me. Somebody that was 36 and they was talking to me.
Right. So, right.
That's a big difference. And I think
that
we have to keep that in mind.
I do. I think that we really do need to keep that in mind, because that could be the difference between, it could be life-changing. If you have someone that's talking to you rather than at you, then maybe we can have less rebellion against, what we're trying to accomplish, the message that we're trying to get across, and the way that we want to make change in the world, And I think that a lot of times we see people make posts on Instagram, like almost like a righteous way. Like, I can't really explain it, but I know you ran across some of those posts where it's just like they're telling you like, this is how you should live, this is how you should be, Right. And instead of doing that, be the light, be the change that you want to be, inspire people, Yeah, absolutely. I want to thank everyone that has joined Bliss Talk today. I got my man Shaun on the line. Do you just go by Shaun?
Most of the time, just Shaun. Shaun Witness Woods. Some people call me Witness.
Okay, Shaun Witness Woods. He's an artist, he's a songwriter, and he does poetry as well. I heard him spitting some poetry on his page, and we just went over what we loved about Nipsey Hussle, some of the keys that Nipsey Hussle shared: hustle and motivate, keep going. What was in that soapbox. We want to encourage people to talk to our youth rather than talk at them when necessary. And we're moving on to our next question. What is the biggest platform that you were invited to be a part of?
The biggest platform I was invited to be a part of, I think it was the Black Film Festival. that they
Okay.
have in Winston Salem. We did that. It was 3 years ago.
Mhm.
We were featured on it, and then last year, Word Society. That's the crew I'm a part of. Word Society, Word standing for Writers of Raw Distinction. So we actually headlined the show this past year with the Hamiltons.
That's dope.
Yeah,
Yes, LB was telling me about that show,
yeah.
and I would have loved to come to that. That sounded like it was super fun. Like, were you nervous about that huge platform?
Well, honestly, I'm nervous every time. Like right before, I always get nervous. You know what I'm saying? I'll like consistently keep going over my lines and like, oh, I hope everything goes well. But I mean, most of the time, like right before you go on, it's like, okay,
Yeah.
let's get through it.
How do you think you performed? Was the crowd very receptive
They
to the
were.
performance? They were.
They were.
Did you make any contacts while you were out there?
Well, I mean, I actually I did. I made a contact with it wasn't really on anything with like spoken word, but I connected with a guy who does alkaline water.
Okay.
So that's actually a black owned alkaline water company.
Okay.
I connected with him. That was pretty dope.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You know, something, those big platforms like that, or if you know it's going to be a lot of people in there, I feel like a lot of opportunity to make connections
Right.
and network with people. Well, any platform really. If you stepping into an open mic, you know, you have some people that are really grinding that you can rub elbows with. And for example, I run an open mic. It's called Thinking Out Loud.
Okay.
It's part of my organization for Out Loud Productions. And I had met someone who inboxed me about coming to the open mic, and he wanted to perform, but he does videos. And I was like, I don't know how we gonna make it work, but we gonna make it work. We gonna put
Right.
a TV up in here or something, because I really want to see your work.
Right.
And so I came in there and he showed us his piece that he did, and I really liked how it came out. And so I hooked up with him to come out to a Bliss Talk and film some of the Bliss Talks. So rubbing elbows, talking to people, getting maybe new folks involved with your projects. It's a key. It's very valuable.
Right.
My next question for you is, what is the big, no, I asked that already. Talk about the beginning and your demeanor, because I don't know you, but something gives me the feeling that you have grown, you have made some transition, and I want you to talk about that transition.
Well, okay, so when you say beginning, like what beginning?
Like beginning, finding yourself as an artist,
Okay.
finding your voice.
Okay, so like my first trip to an actual studio and me recording one of my own songs on my own production was 16. You know, and you know, of course, like at 16, all you want to do when you're a rapper is just talk about how dope you are, right? So that's the way I started off, of course. Then, you know, as you start to get older, you start to experience different things. Life took me down a bad road, so you know, that was reflected in my music. Around 25, I found faith. So you know, struggling with trying to find my voice in that, because of, you know, where I come from versus where I am now. For some people, they listen to music, I might say God or speak about God too much for them. Other people listen to it, I'm not talking about God enough for them. So it's just like, you know, you go through the transition of trying to fit in where you should be, and then you get to this place where I am now, where it's just like, I'm me. I know what I'm supposed to do. If you like it, cool. If not, then I guess I'm not talking to you, and that's fine too. You know.
Do you feel like you have more of a better understanding and grasp of who you are.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I have a better understanding of what my specific purpose is as far as my art goes.
And how long do you think that took for you to get there? If you can put years on.
I would say from the beginning, I say from like 16 until about 2 years ago when I recorded my album They Can't Trap My Soul. That's probably the most comfortable that I was within who I am, and versus like
I don't know how old you are. How old are you?
I'm 36.
You're 36. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You don't look 36, but I mean 36 is not old, but you look very young. And I wanted to ask you about that because first of all, like I said, for some reason I was picking up this energy that you made this huge transition in your life. And then also I want to shed light on the fact that sometimes it takes a while for you to really understand who you are and what your purpose is. Right. And if you don't know now, it's okay. Continue to learn from your experiences because that's where the transition is going to come from.
Absolutely.
That's where you're going to see yourself rise to the occasion and to the frequency, Would you agree?
Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah. My last question I have for you, I want you to talk about faith with me and why it's important.
Okay. So, I went through a period of my life where I had started to just fall into not believing in pretty much anything, right? Mm-hmm. Now, when I was younger, I said maybe like 3 or 4, there was a woman who told my mom that one day I was going to be a preacher. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know about all that, but I will say it's a thing where, for me, like chronological order has always been a thing for me. Cause and effect, chronological order, and it was just something about knowing that was something that was spoken prior to me getting involved into anything crazy in my life. It's like it kind of kept me from going too far. Mm-hmm. Even when it was starting to seem like I don't care about that. It would always be something that would happen that would kind of trigger it, and bring me back. You know what I'm saying? And settle me and get me into a different position. Be like, okay, let me get back right. So for me, it's like faith, not in a traditional way that most people would look at it. For me, it was just like it was just a way to center me and bring me back, because I didn't actually like really dig deep into it until, like I said, I was maybe 25. That's when I started taking seriously. And of course, I'm still learning, still growing now. Yeah. Daily, I'm finding out new information about different things. So
I love that you said that you use faith as a tool to bring you back.
Right.
Because I always say that faith is something that you have to have in your back pocket. You have to carry it with you wherever you go. And don't forget it's in your pocket when you need it.
That's it.
So whenever you're feeling down and you feel like you can't go any longer, pull that faith out your pocket.
That's
pull
it.
it out and keep going. Push through.
Right.
I feel like faith is important because it's what's going to give you the belief that what you're manifesting is going to become a reality.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Whatever your dream might be, you're going to need faith in order to get there.
Right.
Because you're going to be challenged. You're going to be challenged. Is this something that you really want or not? You're going to come across obstacles.
Absolutely.
All the time. But your faith, that take it out that back pocket because if you want it bad enough, you're gonna get there. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. And whenever you have those moments, whatever you do, when you have those moments, it'll push you past that, and it's almost kind of like it builds your face. So the next thing that you face, it's like, oh, I got this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? I've been here before. I got through it.
Yeah.
So I'm good. You know.
Yes. Absolutely. That's a bar right there. That's gonna be a clip. That is gonna be a clip.
Yeah.
I want to say hello to our new listeners that joined in a little bit late. Just to recap, I talked with Shaun, artist, songwriter, about what was some of the favorite keys that he picked up from Nipsey Hussle. And he said he likes the fact that hustle and motivate. It's something about it that's inspiring. We also talked about his soapbox and what's in the soapbox and talking to the youth rather than talking at them. We talked about the biggest platform that he was invited to. He said he was a little bit nervous, but he got through it and it was received well. We also talked about making connections when we're on these platforms. And we talked about his very beginning and his demeanor. He said he now knows his purpose and he now knows himself for who he is. He's more in tune with himself. And we talked about faith and having it in your back pocket, and then knowing that if you got through that obstacle the first time, whatever obstacle comes next, use that same magic that you used from the previous situation for this new situation.
Absolutely.
I want to thank you so much for joining me tonight on Bliss Talk Shaun. It was a pleasure meeting you. And if you guys want to see this entire conversation, you can actually find it in my IGTV. This will also be posted on the Bliss Talk YouTube channel. You can find me also at my website, blisstalkshow.life. Make sure you guys subscribe to that YouTube channel because all of these will be posted on there. If you need a 30-minute pick-me-up, 30-minute conversations with some people that have been grinding and found their way. Shaun, if you don't mind, can you give us all of your information, what you got coming up next, what we need to go support? And while he's giving off that information, for those who are still with us live, give us a question to answer before we close out today.
Okay, so you can find me on Instagram at Shaun Witness Woods. My Facebook artist page is Shaun Witness Woods also. My website is ShaunWitnessWoods.com. You can find me on YouTube at Bear Witness TV. I have an album that is on all streaming platforms entitled They Can't Trap My Soul. And I'm currently working on another album. I'll be dropping songs from that pretty soon, a couple of singles. So y'all just stay tuned, man.
Hey, thanks again for joining me. You have a great weekend.
Okay, you too. Thanks for having me.
Yes, of course.